Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have a great guest on because one of the things that I think about is, when you're building a business, a very, very important part is your brand and how you build your brand. And it's not as easy as people make it look on social media. There's a lot of strategy, a lot of thought that goes into it. So I wanted to bring on the show a brand expert, Sherita Carthon, to talk about her business and some of those things that she's doing to really help her clients develop a strong brand for their business. So welcome to the show, Sherita.
Thank you so much. I am so happy to be here with you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is a pleasure to have you. Now, before we jump into the details of your business, can you tell us a little bit about, your background and what led you to start this type of business?
Absolutely. Well, again, my name is Sherita Carthon, and I am a brand precision expert. I have been working for the last 25 years with notable celebrities like Brandy Norwood, CeeLo Green's former wife, Christina Johnson, Chandra Corelli of Tyler Perry Productions, and it has been a ride. Let me tell you. Um, I entered this business off of a mistake. So I'll I'll let you know. So what happened was there is a restaurant, a laundromat that everyone goes into, and you see this nice little board, and it has everyone's business card and flyer and just just everybody's advertisement on the wall. And so there's a restaurant in Cleveland, Ohio called Kim's Wings, where they have the best barbecue in the world. So I went to Kim's Wings and I saw all of these people advertising their businesses, but it wasn't attractive. So what I would do is I would go in and I would take everyone's advertisement off the wall, bring it back to my lab, redesign it, call them up and say, "Hey, I saw your business card at Kim's Wings, and I did a little revision to your business card, and it's free. Take a look at it. If you like it, if you want it, you can have it." And from just that one tip alone, I was able to build a client base now of more than 2,000 people that I've branded for over the years. So that's how I got started.
Awesome. I love the hustle in that story.
Right.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of, proving to people that you can deliver value up front. And I
Absolutely.
mean,
Yes.
that is, I've interviewed over 230 founders, entrepreneurs on the show, and I've never quite heard a hustle story like that. And I love it.
That's great. I love it.
That is amazing. So,
Mhm.
as you took that journey down, I mean, and like I said, developing your business, what has that experience been like? Because one of the things that I find interesting is when you start a business, finding your niche, because I think a lot of people try to do everything and
Oh,
say,
yeah.
hey, I can do all things. But it's
Yeah.
just like when you find your niche is when I tend to find that, business owners get into their groove. So how did you start to find your niche in your field?
That is a great question. The way I started to find my niche was I found myself around a lot of musicians and artists, and I found that there was a distinct disconnect between the business of the entertainment industry and also being an entertainer. If you understand the entertainment industry a little bit, most artists just want to be artists. They don't want to worry about their CD cover. They don't want to worry about what things are going to look like. Most big end companies or most big end artists have A&R, PR companies that would do that for them. Indie artists, up and coming artists, they don't have that. So they're actually having to act like a small business owner or entrepreneur in the sense of trying to juggle all of those things at the same time while they are having to be an artist. So a lot of the things that they do in regards to marketing and branding gets lost in the wash. They just want to do the gig, right? So I saw that space not being fulfilled, And I went in and said, I can help you. I can help you. And because of that, because of being able to look at that niche and say, all right, how can I fit myself in this space? I was able to really deliver a product and also relief to these artists who were just struggling with their brands.
Mhm. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
can imagine that. That is, there's a lot of work that goes into the art, and when you're performing, and there's so much attention that goes to
Oh
that,
yeah.
to getting that
Mhm.
right, that I
Yeah.
can imagine they have very little interest or even time left over to then
Right.
now I got to go become the marketer.
Right, right. It's not a natural thing for them to think about. You would think you're an artist, you can do everything artsy, but that's far from the truth. They don't want any parts of it, but they want to look good. They want to be able to capture their audience and connect with their audience and fans, just like anyone else. But I love it. I absolutely love it.
Awesome. So, one of the things that's very interesting, I mean, with the pandemic, when it comes down to
Mhm.
artists, I hear that in the industry of entertainment, a lot of, the branding or a lot of the publicity comes from, being out there doing events, engaging and
Yeah.
performing.
Mhm.
What have you seen, happen as a result of the pandemic?
This is the very reason why I am here. I'll explain. There is a statistic in the Huffington Post that said about 72% of artists right now are depressed, confused, and trying to find their place in the world. There was another article in the New York Times that said, as a result of the COVID pandemic, there's a net loss of nearly $50 billion. $50 billion. And so my position is understanding that there is a shift in the entertainment market, and also with that shift, being able to understand what that new shift looks like, and then also being able to navigate that. And so right now, what my company Carthon Consulting Group is doing is we're actually taking artists back to the table, explaining to them that this is a completely new market. Now they feel that they cannot make money, but actually, this market right now is the best time for any artist in the world, because there is the fan base is the literally the market that's actually financing the industry right now. It's not big in companies. It's not, warehousing. It's literally fans that are saying, hey, we are here to support you. And the big part of it is that there's such a level of shock and depression and apathy that they don't want to hear it. And so what my company is doing is trying to shift the mindset of the entertainment industry and artists in the entertainment industry, musicians, dancers, singers, actors, actresses, to understand what that niche is like, and how to actually make money in this pandemic economy.
I mean, that is an amazing thing. I mean, there's a couple of things you mentioned. I think just that freedom that comes, I think, with being funded by the people who love you, by the fans, and not having all the restrictions of the major labels in the box. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that is an amazing thing to, so I guess for all the artists that are listening, like, why
Yes.
haven't you picked up the phone and called Sharita yet?
Right. Well, again, a lot of it is connection, of course, but a lot of it is that if you have done something so impactful with your talent for the last however many years you have been on this earth, and someone comes in and says, I'm going to take all of that away from you, your natural instinct is fear. Your natural instinct is to shut down. Your natural instinct is to get depressed, because who is giving the answer? Where is the answer? And so I'll just give an example. I had a conversation with a very well known artist. Okay, very well known artist. She has a brand. Her family has a brand. And we were talking. She just did a couple of play productions on like Zoom, like a Zoom play production. And she's also working for Uber. And that shocked me. That completely shocked me because you have major artists who has a brand, who has been out in the world, and the pandemic has suppressed the market so to the point where a national recording artist is driving an Uber. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Like, let's just play a little bit, right? Can you imagine taking an Uber and you look up and your Uber driver is Alicia Keys?
Wow. Wow.
Can you imagine that? This is why Carthon Consulting Group and our company exists, is because we want to let the industry know that there is hope. There is money to be made. It's just done a different way.
Mm. Wow, that is amazing. I mean, I think like I said, the opportunity hasn't left. It's just evolved into a slightly different form.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Awesome. So, when one of the questions I like to ask, is, when someone's working with you, what is that experience like? And, what's been some of the feedback that, or the testimonies that you've heard from other clients that you've worked with?
That is a great question. So some of the feedback that we've heard from other clients is that before we do any work whatsoever, I sit my clients down for a good week and a half and I work on mindset. I work on, okay, before we talk about what it is that you want to do, where's your head at? I want to know what you are scared of. I want to know what your fears are. I want to know what you have done as well. Because the thing is, a lot of people do not understand what they've done and the gravity of it, because most people are not self-promoting, right? We don't want to brag about who we are, what we've done. And so what I have my clients do is jot out their resume and the things that they have done that makes them amazing. So I'll give you an example. I'll say Terrell has a great talk show called Business Talk, right? And so that's what most people hear on the airway. But if I said Terrell Turner, the premier um, host of Business Talk Library, and he has been featured on Forbes, Fox, NBC. So now when you hear that, that's a whole different shift, right? Because now it feels like there's a foundation under that. It feels like clout. It feels like, wow, I really am somebody. And so even though there are people who have done amazing things, they don't want to talk about it. And so what we do is we work on mindset, resume. After we do that, we take them into that brand process. Okay, who is it that you want to reach? How do you want to reach them? How much money do you want to make? A lot of people don't want to have that money conversation because, again, it's uncomfortable. Most people will say, because of valuation, they'll say, well, I want to make $30 a person. Wait a minute. Are you trying to really reach your audience? Are you really trying to give value, or are you trying to take the easy way out the back door? We're not allowing our clients to do that. We're saying, speak your value. Who the heck are you and why? Why will your customer pay you $1,500 just to sit in your presence? And
Wow.
then once that conversation is had, we map out a strategy plan unlike any other. And then once we are done, we start plugging away. And at the end of it, because we start actually at the end and work our way back. And so that client is able to see what mental blocks they're going to have probably moving forward. What are the challenges? What are some of the strengths that they have? And then also, what is the capability to execute this brand plan precision? That's why I call myself a brand precision expert, is to be able to hone in on exactly what's going to happen when, and calculating the things that we didn't think about.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
amazing. I definitely think that, I mean, everything that you said is not only something that just adds value to the artist for now, but that's
Yes,
something that creates residual value for them. Because I mean, being able to get that right mindset is going to help them
absolutely.
even become a better performer, become a better artist. That is amazing.
Yeah,
So,
most of it deals with confidence and fear, and also consistency. If you know anything about the entertainment industry, most people in the industry are inconsistent. And so in corporate America, whereas in corporate America, you have discipline and consistency all day, every day, day in and day out. And so even though you're an artist, and most artists are right brain people, we're trying to get them to balance it out and think like a left brain person as well. So it's a challenge, but it's very doable. It actually works. They appreciate it.
Awesome. So, how can people get in touch with you? How can they find you online? How can they find you on social media?
Yes, so I am Sherita Carthon on social media, on Facebook and Instagram. And then if people want to learn more about our company, they can go to Carthon Consulting Group with 1G.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Yes.
before we wrap up the interview, I just want to ask, I mean, are there any final tips you want to share with people, with the artists out there, and that could help them understand, like, you know what, hey, I need to pick up the phone and I need to call the Carthon Group?
This is what I would say. Right now, if you feel like you're drowning, if you feel like you're depressed, if you feel like the very talent that you have created years to cultivate has gone down the drain, I want to tell you to stop exactly what you're feeling right now. Pick up your laptop, your tablet, your computer, your phone, and you get to us. Because we will allow you to understand who you are, what you are worth, and what people are willing to pay just to be in your presence. You are worth more than what you think you are. And I know that if you connect with us, we'll allow you to understand how that one statement is true.
Awesome. Wow. Well, Sherita, thank you so much for coming on the show, for taking us on a journey of your business as well as your industry. I think the work that you are doing is amazing. Please continue to do that. And definitely thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like our content, be sure to follow us on social media. And if you want to see more of our exclusive content, you can subscribe and become a member on patreon.com/Business Talk Library. Hey, the Business Talk Library is the place where business makes sense.